Hey, Shalom. Got the HOI in the house. About to do it's a little dim in here. Got Adam Abbott. It's the channel. Got the Bruise in the house. Hey, Shalom. Shalom. Numbers chapter 10, verse 8. And the sons of Aaron, the priests, shall blow with the trumpets, and they shall be to you for an ordinance forever throughout your generations.
So originally, you know, the Levites were the Levitical priests. They had the priesthood before all Israel gathered. So this was a commandment for the Levitical priests throughout all the high holy days, throughout the Shabbat, and everything we did to honor the Most High to blow the trumpets. You read now?
And if ye go to war in the land against the enemy that oppresseth you, then ye shall blow an alarm with the trumpets.
So even when we went to war, we blew the alarm with the trumpets. Keep going.
And ye shall be remembered before the Lord your God, and ye shall be saved from your enemies.
Keep going.
Also in the day of your gladness, and in your solemn days, and in the beginnings of your months, you shall.
So in the beginning of our months, the days of our gladness, when we come together like we in unity right now, Psalms 133, coming together to honor the Most High, we blow the trumpets as well.
Ye shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your God. I am the Lord your God.
So throughout our generation, this is what we're supposed to do to honor the Most High, opening and closing the Shabbat, or in the Hebrew, we say the Shabbat one, which were the hourly days for the feast. So when you get a second, you want to do that for me? Before you get that, give me Psalm 81. Give me Psalm 81, please. I think it's verse 3.
Psalms chapter 81, verse 3. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day.
So this is the new moon feast, which is a new month to us. And the word moon is how we get the word month. So some people try to confuse it and say that we worship in the sun, the stars, and the moon, and all this crazy idolatry. But all it is letting us know by a sign from the Most High that we're coming into a new month.
Salaki, bro.
So y'all got your Bible, the swords, the righteous sword, not the real weapon.
Okay. Huh?
You get Psalms 133. Y'all should know what that is. when y'all get it, just say come.
Psalms chapter 133, verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity.
So, as I said, we here for the Most High. You know, we all know we Israelites. You know, by the time we come back to our nationality, our heritage, our culture, we start rehearsing the righteous acts. And we do it in unity. You know, nobody here fighting, arguing as if we was moving in the world, going to the party, the club, just going out here to act a fool. So, you know, this is all the respect and honor and glory to the Most High. So we always gotta give our respect to the Most High. And I can't stress that enough. You know, when I was in the church, none of this stuff, you know, was being taught or anything. So I'm really blessed to be in this position to actually know this word and actually teach it to my kids, my wife, and everyone around it, and being unity with me. So we got something to bring up. All right. Give me let me get, because I want to jump into this, and we don't worship the moon or anything, so jump into, give me Deuteronomy 4 and 19. Deuteronomy 4:19.
Hold on.
Everybody get this, say come.
Hey.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 19. And lest thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the hosts of heaven, should it be driven to worship them.
So the Most High telling us, you know, those things are there. We know they exist, but it's not for us to worship them. You know, we use the moon more of a way to keep up with keep a track of time and things of that nature. Not to pray and to prostrate ourselves and to make little symbols and a way to change with these things like you see the other nations do. That ain't for us.
And serve them, which the Lord thy God hath divided unto all nations under the whole heaven.
So the Most High gave that for the other nations to do. He care less about them. So your churches can't be teaching you, or so-called pastors teaching you that the Most High God of the Bible is God of everybody. When he's specifically telling you he gave them the moon, the star, and the sun, and all these other things for them to worship. Hold that, jump over to Jeremiah 10 1. Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1.
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord hath spoken unto you, O house of Israel.
Not all nations, only Israel.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
So we're not supposed to be astonished to see the moon when the sun reflects off it, shining and bright. It's not supposed to amaze us. We know the purpose of that. Do it up.
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
Because the other nations, they see this stuff and they are like, oh, if you go back in history, when you had, what's that fool named Galileo? He went to the great extent to make a telescope to observe the moon to see if it's circumventing the earth or the earth is going around it. You get lost out there with that. Yeah. But the scripture teaches the purpose of that and how things work out there in space. So we didn't need to go out there. Just like you had other nations to come to King Solomon to inquire the wisdom that King Solomon had. He answered all their questions with no problems. Because the Most High dealt with him. He ain't been in the space a day in his life.
For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe.
You can hold it right there, but we all know that's going into Christmas. That's another topic, but that's going into what they do. And just to brush up on that real quick, it was the story that when Nimrod passed, during the wintertime, the pine tree was the only tree that had life in it. So people are teaching that his spirit jumped into the tree. And if you didn't cut the tree down and bring it in your house and put gifts and decorate it, then Nimrod would come and kill you. But that's all folly from these other nations, man. We're not dealing with that.
I told you to.
Was Exodus 24 about the Exodus 24. It's 3. Come.
Everybody say come. Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
So there we go again right there. Most High don't want to take everything to force the process of worshiping. You know, like I said, the moon is not to be worshipped. It's a sign for the time. That's it. That's all. That's the purpose of it. Everything, you know, the Most High made, the water, the trees, everything has a purpose in life. Not to be prayed to. No statue or no moon gonna come down here and save you with the condition or nothing. None of that stuff is. So we gotta keep in mind, and I know we all know these things. When we deal with other people, we also gotta be humble about how we soft and how we become off. Because people look at us as an example, and if we go off in these things, they try to, but you got a picture of the moon on my shirt, yes. Or it's the moon on my chain, yes. I got a picture of the moon on my wall, but I'm not praying to it. I'm not worshiping that. So, was that it on that one?
Verse 4. Or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above.
There we go again. In the word heaven, I'm gonna throw a little Hebrew stuff in here. The word heaven is English word translated from the word shemayim. The word shemayim literally means the elements. So it's dealing with water, it's dealing with the atmosphere, the stars, the moon, the sun. It's dealing with those elements, the things that the Most High created. That's another lesson. I'll probably write some things down and give it to you after I go dive into the Hebrew a little bit. But that's how you get like an even better understanding when you read the scriptures. Not to say you can't grasp it in the English, but the Hebrew does kind of brush up on a lot of the sharp points on that.
Just to put this quick point out, the brother is sharp with the Hebrew, so if y'all got any questions before you got to
I'm all right.
Or of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
So no Jesus fishes and none of that stuff. All that's going on. You don't need that. And we all should know by now the name of the Most High Son is not Jesus. So we just painted the Jesus. Jesus was about 4,500 years old, 600 years old. Yeah. So that's way later. Give me I'm gonna hold off on that one. Give me. You got one in the brown? I'm going to the box.
I'm gonna just bring out a quick scripture on the new moon. 1 Samuel chapter 20. Verse 5.
This is the book of 1 Samuel chapter 20 and verse 5. And David said unto Jonathan, Behold, tomorrow is the new moon, and I shall not fail to sit with the kings at meat, but let me go, that I may hide myself in the field until the third day at evening.
So our forefather David, as commanded, upheld the new moon. And the new moon was something that was looked upon by our people as something that was important as it was commanded. Give me verse 18, same chapter.
This is the book of 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 18. Then Jonathan said to David, Tomorrow is the new moon, and thou shalt be missed, because thy seat will be empty.
That's right. That's what David was practicing. Give me verse 24.
Verse 24. So David hid himself in the field, and when the new moon was come, the king sat down at the king set him down to eat meat.
Keep going down one more.
And the king sat upon his seat, set by Saul's side, and David's place was empty.
Let's sit on that. I just wanted to bring out a quick point that our forefather David was keeping the new moon. So a new moon is not worship of the moon. The new moon is following the times and being cautious of the times as a new month. That's all it symbolizes. The Most High put the luminaries in the skies for us to know the times and the seasons. Just like the times and the seasons in Matthew 24. We know about wars and rumors of wars. All right, we know by the things that's occurring around us what time we in prophecy. I mean, it's the same thing. The Most High set these things in order for us to be able to know. Go ahead, bring out what you got.
And also, I want to bring out another precept in Isaiah 66 to 23.
Everybody that say come? Isaiah chapter 66, verse 23. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord.
So from one new moon to another, one Sabbath to another, just like we go out and teach on the Shabbat, on the Saturday sun up to sundown. Actually, Friday sundown, Saturday sundown. But for the new moons, we come together, like I said, to worship the Most High. It's a way for us to keep up with the times. So the Most High is commanding us to do this throughout our generations. So to honor and keep the Most High's commandments, we got to remember constantly to be on each other. Sometimes we might have to work, but at least we can try to the best of our ability to keep these laws and commandments. I'm gonna do.
We're going to jump back just real quick because I want to deal with a specific doctrine, specifically the book of Enoch. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to just put it out there, quite frankly. The book of Enoch tells you that the moon, we shouldn't follow the moon. My young brood, all right? It's a doctrine that the book, goes totally against the 80 scriptures, the King James Bible, and tells us that the moon comes in 10 days too late or too soon, however it goes. But I want to deal with what the Most High is speaking of in Numbers chapter 10, verse 8 again. Let's touch up on a few key points.
This is the book of Numbers chapter 10 and verse 8. And the sons of Aaron, the priests, shall blow the trumpets, and they shall be to you for an ordinance forever throughout your generations.
So the Most High said the blowing of the trumpets, which happens during what time out? Feast days, new moons, it's for wars. All right, that's an ordinance forever, right? So it means it's never gonna fade away, right? Keep reading.
And if you go to war in your land against the enemy that oppressive you, then you shall blow an alarm with the trumpets.
Jump down to verse 10.
Also in the day of your gladness, in your solemn days, and in the beginning of your months.
In the beginning of your moons, right, or months.
You shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings and over your sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before the Lord your God. Before a memorial for your God. I am the Lord your God.
That's right. So that again, the new moon is we're not worshiping the moon. It's a new month. And that keeps us intact with times and seasons. That's it, that's all. So I'm gonna bring out something else about that.
Let's just cut to the chase.
Let's cut to it.
Give me I don't know if everybody got a apocryphal.
Yes.
Get Ecclesiasticus or aka Sirach 43 and 6. Because I actually had a debate with a Christian pastor about this. The brother was saying there's no evidence of the what we saying the new moon is. This is slaughter right here.
Off with his head.
Yeah.
Get the shotguns out,
Ecclesiasticus 43 and 6.
Alright. Everybody say calm? Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 43, verse 6. He made the moon also to serve in her season.
Oh, one thing. When you see her in the Bible, it's not talking about a female. You see her in the Hebrew, instead of saying yum, which is a masculine plural form, or when you see the now symbol at the end, it's a feminine symbol. It's just representing something that's delicate and tender to the Most High. That's all that's saying.
He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times.
For what?
For a declaration of times.
No, for God.
For a declaration of times.
And what else?
And a sign of the world.
Keep going.
From the moon is the sign of feast.
From the what?
From the moon is the sign of feast.
So that's how we keep in the track of the feast. When the Passover comes in, we count those days as it tells you in the law. We count the days from the new moon. You get your lamb, you get your preparation together. Keep going on.
A light that decreaseth in her perfection.
So when you see the moon in its full brightness, from its full brightness, and the light dims out, and basically you don't see the moon anymore, and that cycle starts again. How they got the half moon, the crescent moon, the quarter moon, and all of that. It goes through a cycle to show you the timeline from the month. So when the moon restarts, basically regenerates itself again. That's when the next month comes in. That's the only purpose of the moon. Everything else, all the doctrines, Egyptians and whatever else, these Scientologists, these other professors. I mean, it's a lot of stuff out on this.
Full moon, werewolves.
Yeah. I mean, if you see werewolves and it's a full moon, then hey, I mean.
The witches hour, 12.
Right.
A lot of carnal folly out here with that stuff, man. Keep going up.
Verse 8. The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven.
So that firmament is talking about the ozone layer, shining outside, our realm, going into space.
Let's keep going just a little bit.
Keep going, yeah.
Verse 9. The beauty of heaven, the glory of the stars, an ornament giving light in the highest places of the Most High.
So the beauty of you looking at the moon, it's pretty to look at. Like the Most High, everything the Most High did is beautiful. Ain't no big bang with no big explosion and all this destruction stuff. What people talking about, yeah. Everything the Most High made is beautiful. So when people gaze upon it, they see nothing but beauty, and they get mesmerized by these things, but they get too lost into it. So we gotta remember, it's beautiful, it's nice. We use it for the purpose that the Most High gave us, to keep a track of the months, the high holy days, and things of that nature. Keep going up.
Verse 10. You got it.
Oh yeah, get your verse 10.
All right, before we go, let's go ahead, read verse 10.
At the commandment of the Holy One, they will stand in their order and never faint in their watches.
So according to verse 10, this totally destroys the book of Enoch. That says that the watchers left their first estate and went down from heaven, broke the commandment, left their heavenly order, and did what they wanted to do, and slept with women and had 450-foot giants. Read that verse again.
In the commandment of the Holy One, they will stand in their order and never faint in their watches.
So the watchers, right, they left their first estate. The watchers broke the Most High's commandment, his creation, the angels, and did what they wanted to do, right? The book of Enoch totally goes against the scriptures in this sense. Keep reading.
11 on.
You know what?
Go on to 11 too.
All right, keep going.
Because the Most High makes some beautiful things.
Um,
Look upon the rainbow and praise him that made it very beautiful. It is in the brightness thereof. So this is the moon. The Most High made the rainbow. So these things didn't mysteriously appear out anyway. And the rainbow has nothing to do with the what is that?
the LGBTQ, QP, element of
Every time you turn around, they got a new alphabet in that, man.
Yeah.
And it's people looking at that and they thinking it's a symbol for them to do wickedness. It's not. It ain't. We know back in Genesis, the Most High made that rainbow as a covenant to us that he wouldn't destroy the world with water anymore.
That's right.
So that's how we know this Bible is real.
That's right.
We have to think about these prophecies, the law, statutes, and commandments. And we always be keeping these things, we're going to be good. We're going to get back in that kingdom, get some land, some wine. We're going to have all these nations serving us. Anything else on that? Nah, it's not. It wasn't Amos. It was,
Okay. Yeah. Guys, there's a court intro.
bring that out what you was gonna bring out earlier. I think it was in Samuel. It was Samuel the King who was gonna bring something out.
What?
I think it is.
They're almost done.
The Second Kings. Did you want it? Go ahead, read it.
2 Kings chapter 4, verse 23. Everybody just say, come. And he said, wherefore wilt thou go to him today? It is neither new moon nor Sabbath. And he said, it shall be an ass, and said to her servant, drive and go forward. Slack not thy writing for me, except I bid thee.
Hold on, that wasn't good. That wasn't good. That's on. It's something else you're right. I think you're right about Amos. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. Look. Y'all can get Amos 8 and 5.
Everybody, when you get this, say, come. Amos chapter 8, verse 5, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn, and the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small, and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances by deceit?
So around this time, when you had the new moon feast coming, just like the Shabbat, the only difference is you could cook on the Shabbat ones, which are the high holy days, the feast days, but you couldn't cook on the Sabbath itself. We weren't allowed to do that. So the people at this time, my ancestors were saying, you know, when was the new moon going to be open, that they may work, and when the work they talking about is working for hire, working for a profit to make money. During that season, they had to go ahead and they had to keep the feast, and, you know, wheat, whatever things they had to make. So you remember, you can cook on this day, but as far as going to work, and I know we ain't like captivity still to this day, so it is kind of hard at times. So the Most High understands, He knows the tradition again. But just keep in mind, if you are allowed to have that day off, you know, take the day off and use it to honor the Most High. Don't be trying to get that extra $2-3 because the Most High will bless you somehow later on down the line with that. Con?
I want to embark on that because the brother by man, he would not let me sleep, man. He said, man, you coming? You coming? I'm like, for real, I really appreciate that. The water.
And that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to encourage our brothers and sisters. These are very important days. You know, a lot, like we said, we still not captivity. A lot of us is waking up to what we should and shouldn't be doing. But thankfully, the Most High raised some of us up that, you know, we can help other people out. And that's what it's all about, Psalms 133. The brotherhood, the sisterhood, let's keep it going and keep practicing these feast days and proclaiming the kingdom until the Most High, Yahweh Shah, you know, return and set the rulership back with Israel.
Anybody got questions, anything they want to add? And chime in on anything?
I had a precept for you to destroy that book of Enoch. First
They're
Corinthians.
gonna have to take the thing out of prep by the time we come in.
First Corinthians 15 and 38. It reads, but God giveth a body as it hath pleased him, and to every seed his own body.
Hold on, what was it again?
First Corinthians 15 and 38. You just say commonly authentic.
You want to read it for me now?
Oh, yeah, you can read it.
Shoot. You might as well bring it out. Bring it out.
1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 38. But God a body as it hath pleased him, and to every seed his own body.
Read the next verse.
Verse 39. All flesh is not the same flesh.
Right, so all flesh is not the same flesh, so an angel doesn't have the same body as does a human. So therefore they can't meet. You can finish if you want to.
Keep going. I'm gonna elaborate on that too.
Yeah, I wish I said it too.
That's a good point. A good precept. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds.
So literally, you couldn't have a fish mate with a bird and produce anything. They're not designed to do that. The body, the genealogy with them don't go together for nothing. You know?
There are also celestial bodies.
Celestial bodies that's going into the Most High. The Most High's body, you know, you couldn't, like they try to say that the Most High came down and had sex with Mary and got pregnant. She had Yahweh. Oh, no. And if that was the case, Mary would be dead. Wouldn't be a house out
And bodies terrestrial.
Terrestrial, that's going into the angels. Because it'll tell you in I forgot what that said in the Bible, but it goes into how the angels were created and how man was created different. So the angels, like the brother said, couldn't come and mate with the women and give birth to giants. You know, at one point in the earth, there were people that were extremely tall, but that had nothing to do with angels coming down and making with women. Period. That's a whole nother doctrine.
And they say the maximum height with them was it's like 17, 19 feet.
Yeah, I heard it's crazy. And there are some pictures, and I don't know how true it is, but it could be true. You see the pictures of the Nephilims?
Yes.
The giant heads and stuff, but that has nothing to do with angels coming down and making with women. Now, from what I have heard and what I do know is that the angels did teach mankind, that the fallen angels taught mankind that some things that was off. That's probably about it, but not as far as making with them.
But the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. There is one glory of the sun.
So the sun's purpose, one glory, why the sun was purpose, and glory why the moon was created. So if you go into what the sun is, the sun gives off the what you call those things, like the aurora, UV rays, that radiation comes off to the earth. It's only a certain amount that comes, and it feeds the plants, the vegetation, the animals eat it, and we get it. It gives basically energy. That's the purpose of that. It ain't that people try to take it and worship it as well. But as far as that is, each of those things have a purpose. The angels have a purpose. The Most High has his purpose. Yahweh has his purpose. We as human beings have their purpose. The fish have their purpose. The fowls of the air, everything in creation has its purpose. You want to say anything else? Give me 1 John 5 and 3. Give 1 John 5 and 3.
When everybody get this, say, come. Fox quick with that sword. He was like, we had cat. First John chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God.
So this is what we do if we love the Most High. Read.
That we keep his commandments.
Which is the new moon feast. Not just the new moon feast, but every commandment he gave us.
And his commandments are not grievous.
And it's not hard to come together like this in unity. There's nothing hard about this. And it's a beautiful thing, man. said years ago, before I came to the truth, I couldn't sit in a room with a bunch of brothers and sisters I didn't know and have peace. You know, it'll always be an issue. Somebody checking out this person or this person, and you looking at me too hard, or you know, it's always been something with our people. You know, this as Jake's been, I don't know, we've been gone on for a long time.
Curse is strong.
And I tell you, man, them curses don't fit us. I don't know who they fit, who they go to, man. Only us. You don't see the Chinese people do that. You don't see the Arabs do that. You don't see the East Indians, none of that stuff. And when they have issues with one another, they have governments, they got military, they got their own banking system. They come together and they help each other out. They pull it out of the church. You know? So, with that being said, I don't know if anybody can bring anything out.
I got precept.
I got precept.
First Samuel, chapter 20, verse 24. I got 2 precepts.
You said 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 24?
Yeah.
Church.
You know what I'm saying? Because new moments for feast days determine the months. So we just further break it down. It's for months as well.
Everybody say come? 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 24. So David hid himself in the field, and when the new moon was come, the king sat him down to eat meat.
All right, jump down to verse 27.
Verse 27. And it came to pass on the morrow,
Tomorrow,
which was the 2nd day of the month.
Which was the 2nd day, so it's showing that the new moon is also determining the months. You know what I'm saying? And during the new months, we have feast days. You read it?
That David's place was empty. And Saul said unto Jonathan his son, Wherefore cometh not the son of Jesse to meet?
Right, because Jesse, he didn't come to the feast and come again. Read.
Neither yesterday nor today.
Right, because you know the day before, when the sun sets, that's when you have it, and then it carries on to the next day. Second precept is in 2 Chronicles chapter 2. 2 Chronicles chapter 2.
You came with your ammunition, huh?
Love it.
Chapter 2. 2 Chronicles chapter 2. Not yet, I'm starting verse 1, so we get the context.
Starting the first verse?
Yeah, so we get the context of it.
Everybody just say come.
Come.
2 Chronicles chapter 2, verse 1. And Solomon determined to build a house for thy name of the Most High,
Right.
and a house for his kingdom.
Right, so Solomon trying to build a house for the Most High. Jump down to verse 3.
Verse 3. And Solomon sent to Hiram, the king of Tyre, saying, As thou didst deal with David my father, and didst send him cedars to build him a house, to dwell therein, even so deal with me.
You know?
Behold, I build an house to the name of the Lord my God, to dedicate it to him, and to burn before him sweet incense, and for the continual shewbread, and for the burnt offerings morning and evening, on the Shabbats, and on the new moons,
New moons, read.
and on the solemn feast of the Lord our God. This is an ordinance forever to Israel. Hallelujah.
All praises, all praises.
You got one up?
You said in the book of Enoch, you said the stars fell out.
It said that the angels forsook their first estate, and they made an agreement amongst 200 angels, and they went down to the mountain of Hermon and came down and had sex with women, and therefore created giants on the earth.
And if you go, actually look it up, the sons of God come from Adam. You know, there's no way to ever get around that.
From the book of Job.
Right.
Let's get that, man.
Yeah.
I
love it.
We can jump in Genesis on that too.
I love it, I love
It's
it.
real quick, man.
Right, and if you
Job.
go to Genesis 4, it gives you the whole genealogy. They're not just going to go into a whole nother topic when they still talking about that. And after y'all get there, I want to say something about what y'all talking about after y'all get this precept.
Let's get, I'm going to go to Job chapter 2, verse 1. Everybody get this, say, Shalom.
Shalom.
don't even know how we jumped on this topic.
Yeah, that's a blessing, man.
It's a lot of dummy doctrines that go around. These are people with strength.
Everybody say Kyle? This is Job chapter 2 verse 1. And there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord. And Satan came also among them to present himself to the Lord. So the sons of God were actually men.
I got a piece after that.
Go ahead, bring it up.
Luke 3, 37.
Luke chapter 3 verse 37.
Or you can just read the verse 38. Get straight to the point.
Okay.
Luke chapter 3, verse 37, y'all.
You got it up?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Luke chapter 3, verse 38, which was the son of Enos, which was the son of Seth, which was the son of Adam, which was the son of God.
Right, so before you had the Israelites, you know, our lineage was known as the sons of God. Adam and down, Adam and so forth.
That's beautiful. What was that precept you had on?
It was actually Genesis 5. Genesis 4, we were talking about the genealogy. I was going to go to Luke 3 anyway.
Oh, okay, God. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. Anybody else got anything they want to bring out?
I just want to say that if you look through the Bible, now, I never seen the book of Enoch mentioned in the Bible. I've seen Enoch mentioned. Prophesy, exactly. You know what I'm saying? But now, this book that is in the Bible that's mentioned. 2 Samuel chapter 1 verse 18, that's the book of Jasher or Yashar. And Joshua chapter 10 verse 13, king of Judah. You understand? Those are books that I mentioned. Meaning they want us to read those books. Am I not correct? But I never seen nothing written that says, isn't it written in the book of Enoch?
Right. See, the only thing is, with the other books, I know they are mentioned in the scriptures, but we can't prove the validity of them.
Right.
We don't know the authors of the sources. That's the only issue.
And a lot of this stuff, they was mainly journals that they kept. Like the book of Nathaniel was another one. There's a journal that was kept. The book of Josephus, it's not mentioned. I don't think it's mentioned in the Bible, but we know from it goes into the scriptures. So we know it has validity to it because it connects right to the scriptures.
And I got a point to make. Any additional book that's mentioned in here that we don't have, if it says that other nations can be saved, you know, that don't line up with this says. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
They got a book called Enoch, Ethiopia.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's written from Ethiopic text.
It's different versions of that book. That's another thing you gotta kept. Because I've seen like 4 or 5 different. They all say something different.
How hard they could.
Alright. We ain't got nothing else. We're gonna blow the trumpets and we're gonna fellowship and enjoy the rest of this feast day. Alright, and we're gonna say a prayer to bless the food, then we're gonna blow out. Pause it. Hit play.